Somebody's hiding.
Eric, 2 important things.
Yes.
Number 1, nice cock.
Oh man, damn it.
And number 2, this is only for 6 to 12-year-olds.
That's okay. I'm wearing the helmet that is sized
The helmet.
kids.
Okay, makes sense. That certainly camouflages you. In this episode, we see a man's balls. Oh yeah, I saw a man's balls. Keep a secret. Don't tell Eric, but my stomach is already kind of grumbling in a weird way. And prepare for the worst. You got a child barfing on you on a bus? Poncho. Scoot, scoot, Scooty Pop Jr. Scoot, scoot. Scoot, scoot, Scooty Pop Jr. Scoot, scoot.
So last night was kind of miserable. This is our tent. And these are these idiots that have set up their tents like directly next to ours. And we're just up super loud all night, hooping and hollering and making all this fucking noise. And Kyde went and talked to them a couple times. They were just rude to her. So we basically didn't get to sleep at all because these fucking dipshits.
It literally ended up being the closest to them we possibly could be.
And like, there's places where they could have set up which would have been a little less close to people, as in like we wouldn't be able to reach out and touch the tents that they set up at midnight. But we came home last night and it was dark already, so like we couldn't move our stuff easily. Like, I guess we could have done it, but then we would have been bothering other people by moving our gear around, pounding things in near them. Like, there was no fix. So it's just a bunch of like absolute dickwads.
Yeah, I put my headphones in and I watched Judge Judy for a little while. That worked out pretty good. That drowned him out. And then I have brown sound that I listen to, which just makes me feel like I'm on an airplane. So
I think I slept about 2 hours.
Oh, I assumed you were sleeping the whole time.
No, I was just laying there pissed off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they completely ruined the night. What's the matter with people then? And then like the last time I was here, a guy left a big bag of trash. And like people, yeah, I'm not trying to start a fight or anything, but people are like, oh, Japanese people are all so well behaved and well mannered. Not always. Absolutely not. Like the dude that left the trash was absolutely Japanese. I spoke to him briefly and they were absolutely Japanese. They're just teenagers or something and they're just dickheads.
Yeah.
But I'm grumpy because I'm exhausted right now. So we get to look forward to a day where I'm going to be exhausted all day and it's supposed to rain. So.
Well, we certainly could just pack up and roll.
Yeah, and go do what? Yeah.
Well, I'm going to the bathroom, son.
These kids, man, they're affecting my mental health. One of them was just like, he just walked over here and just started pissing all over the place. It's like, there's toilets like a 1 minute walk that way and a 1 minute walk that way. He's just an idiot. I yelled at him. I basically called him an animalistic idiot in Japanese. And he didn't know what to do. Like, people don't confront people when they do bad things in Japan. So he just kind of like freezes up and he's like, he just like nodded at me. Like, I was like, I was pissed. I was pissed off at him. They don't know what to do in those situations. Like, it's so uncommon. Like, when people act a fool here, everybody just kind of looks the other way and ignores it and like avoids confrontation. So when confrontation actually hits people that are acting like idiots, they're just like, like if I said what I said to that guy to like an American kid doing the same thing, they would have been like, you know, fuck you or something. They would have said something. He just freezes. He doesn't know what to do. But anyway, they're going to be in our rearview mirror real soon because we're packing everything up and we are getting out of here. Thankfully. It's a really shame because it's such a beautiful place. Detailed viewers of our videos may have noticed some little creatures hiding in some of the videos, and there's something of a club relating to those creatures on our Discord. Check out our Discord if you're not over there. We hang out there and it's fun. And we're going to kind of expand this little hidden creature into the real world. What we've got is these little QR codes that I'm blurring right now so you can't cheat. And the QR code is on a magnet. And the magnet is going to be put someplace in the world, which you'll be able to figure out because we're standing in front of a sign that tells you where it is. And the goal of the game is you got to come here and then scan the QR code, and it'll take you to a hidden YouTube video. And on that hidden YouTube video, you're going to leave a comment and say, hey, I found it at blah, blah, blah. And I'll put our email address in there as well so that you can, if you would like, email us a picture of yourself to prove it with the thing. Because if you find one of these stickers, you're going to have the video for all of them. So the only way to really prove that you were here is through that photo. So this is how this is going to work. This is the information you get. Should be really easy to find this. And we're going to come over here and find a metallic surface, which was harder than you think. Signs aren't all metallic, believe it or not. And we're going to take and we're going to stick this little guy up here. And he's now there, hopefully forever. And have fun. You got to come here to see it. You got to come here to scan the little QR code. And you got to come here to prove to us that you found that little guy. I forgot to say this, but we have more of these. So we're going to be putting these in other places. And whenever we do, we'll make a video and put it in our mainline video so you know where to start hunting if you're in the area. But I like this first one. This is pretty remote. You can't exactly just get off the train at Tokyo Station and be like, oh, there it is. Oh, I got the one. You got to make some effort.
We've got to somehow make a list of where these things are so that people don't hunt through. We're currently watching us, and that's like a decade worth of video. So you need to put a list somewhere that would provide people an easy way to go, okay, I'm going to Japan. Where in Japan would these be? So I think we need a list.
All right, we're all saddled up. Scooty's bags are all plumped out. I can actually expand them, and I made them really wide so I could fit more things in it. But I got to be really conscious of how wide this bike is now.
I'm not going to be able to pass you. You're going to be too fat.
That's possible. And I looked at the weather, and it's okay until about 2, 3 o'clock. But the area that's going to not be rainy is in the east-southish part of the region. So we're going to head to the east-southish part of the area because that's the last place that rain is going to come in. And hopefully we don't get caught in anything when we come back into Hakodate, because that's the end goal today, is to go back up there. We got to drop off Kyde's scooter and then go to a hotel for the evening.
Trying to do it unscathed. Could it be unscathed? Maybe.
Unsoggied? Is that what you mean by
unsoggied? Yes.
Unsoggied?
Unsogged.
Yeah, I've only gotten soggy a couple times in the trip so far, and it's not a whole lot of fun. And
I bought a poncho. I should be using the poncho
from Daiso. I don't know if it's going to cut the mustard.
It's quality.
They're made for like bicycles, not 60-kilometer-an-hour mega scooties.
It didn't specify, Eric Klein. It's for everything. It's one size fits all, one size for every disaster that might occur. You got a child barfing on you on a bus? Poncho.
It would work on a bus, unless you open the window and the wind was going real hard. Then there'd be barf everywhere.
Yeah, that's more the wind than the poncho's fault.
It's more
but if I'm wearing the poncho...
Sounds like a baby's fault to me.
Eric brought me to one of the coolest Nichi no Ekis. It's got like a geyser here and a whole bunch of steam, and you can cook with it. It's incredible. I can't think of something cooler that I've seen in a while. Eric already did this once. Can you see me? Eric already did this once, but I got a special thing that Eric didn't get. I'm having a hotate-man, and I'll open this up. We'll get a better look at it once we get to the table.
She forgot to turn off the oven. It's not a good joke.
Hotate is scallop. So you can see that right on the top. And on the inside, it's more scallops. I'm not gonna wait. It's actually kind of cold on the inside.
What?
Yeah, it's kind of cold on the inside.
After 13 minutes?
After 13 minutes, yeah. and the outside is kind of like hardening. So we poked a hole in the bag before we started, just based on the instructions that the guy said inside, and perhaps that was the wrong way to go about it. I can't imagine it wouldn't still have gotten cooked, but...
You need to put it back in the earth?
No, I think it's fine. We're real big chefs. We know how to steam. We don't even know how to do that. So I'd say we're far from the chef situation. But flavor's good. I'm quite excited about this. I still don't know if we did it right, but I'd say it's edible.
Katie's gonna die. Actually, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna die because you ate something weird. That's really more likely what's gonna happen. I'm sitting here talking about science and trying to figure out how we messed this up. I don't know exactly what went wrong, but they do steam those things not inside of a plastic bag of any sort, inside a convenience store. So I'm sure that maybe it wasn't supposed to be in the bag at all. But the reason that we didn't take it completely out of the bag is because it sits inside of a net and there's a piece of paper on the bottom of it. And the dude made a point of telling us, don't put the paper directly on the net because then the paper will just like fuse to the net and it'll be hard to get off. So, and he kept saying like cut a hole in the paper, in the plastic. He didn't say like, why would you say just cut a little hole if what the actual thing is take the entire thing out, take all the paper off and then put it in the basket? And then why also would they not just do that for you there? Because the other things come just in a basket ready to just put in the box.
They probably don't do it for you because they're not going to clean their hands every 10 seconds for you like a restaurant would.
Well, I mean, he got it out of a freezer, didn't he?
Yeah.
So it wasn't in the same fridge. Okay, that makes sense. I don't know. Clearly we did something wrong. Clearly people in the comments are going to be like, you guys are idiots. This is how you're supposed to cook these things with the earth. But okay, you guys are just right. You have a point. We're kind of idiots.
Don't tell Eric, but my stomach is already kind of grumbling in a weird way. Might have made some bad decisions.
We gotta be like justified like this because I'm gonna put a map up here. We are going to just cruise down the coastline for a bit. And the reason being that we're just, again, trying to avoid rain. And it looks like it's possible we're going to avoid the torrential rain that could be coming. And maybe we just might get a little bit of mist because we've been getting misted on here. And we're going to go down a bit. And then we're going to go off into a squiggly road that goes through the woods because it's got a point at it, which is
Google Maps says it ends.
Yeah, it says it ends, but we're gonna wager that you can go through and keep going.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a gamble, but you get to find out what's at the end of the road that looks like it ends, but probably doesn't. That's the plan.
Yep.
Getting a little bit wet here. It's not terrible, but it's kind of like that soggy, drizzly stuff that you get just from being by the ocean.
Eric had told me there was a thing called Eruption Bay here, and I didn't know we were driving right into it. I just pulled over because I thought there was an area we could go do some Tom Sawyer shit, but pulled over, and this plateau sitting out over the water is chilling there, and it hasn't been eroded so much by the water, so the water has to act differently with it. And I've never seen a structure like this right off the coast. It explodes sometimes because there's a small little crack where the water goes through, and if you get a big enough wave...
I think the reason that we've got this structure and it hasn't been eroded is because this structure is kind of new. And it's a result of an eruption that happened in the volcano that we've been hanging out around for the past, well, I've been there for like a week and a half now. Katie's been here a couple days. Because this looks a lot like volcanic rock. And I'm gonna assume what's under the water is also just more of this stuff. So the lava came down here, I'm assuming, and cooled into these shapes that time hasn't given enough time to the water to erode it away and turn it into sand and like different, normal shapes. So it's created this thing where water can explode up out of the ground. And it's interesting because The area is kind of known as Eruption Bay because of the explosion of the volcano, but you've also got these little water eruptions happening at the same time. Boom, tied that all together. Katie looks real safe right now. She's ready for all sorts of eruptions. This is the little road that we found that went off of the coast, and it definitely seems like a small little road that could questionably not connect to where we want to go. I think we're going to gamble it just for the spirit of adventure. Alright, we've gotten to not sealed. I really don't enjoy driving Scooty on not sealed. Scooty is not built for this, and it throws things around in a way that is kind of So even though it's a lot of adventure, I don't know how far I'm going to be willing to tolerate it if it keeps being unsealed. I feel like Scooty's wheels just are not the right tires or whatever. Could be a skill thing too, but it makes me nervous, man. I hate this. We've decided to keep going for the time being. Maybe Katie is stopping. Are you stopping? It's a lot of mud. I think if you stay to the right, you'll be okay. I wouldn't go through the puddle. How about that? She's a professional. Whew, it's stressful.
That felt like a training course for something. Something that I am moderately prepared for.
If it's just like this, it's no problem at all, right? It's when it gets muddy and stuff, that's when it's a bummer. Ugh. I think what we're going to do is get the hell out of these woods, because the rain is only going to make this really, really bad. Even if it's just a little rain, any more wet is terrifying. God, down is so much worse than up. You're using all your upper body strength to kind of like hold things in place. It's just this terrible feeling of slippery rocks and nonsense. Going up, all the power being in the back and just driving you up the hill just makes the physics feel a lot better. This is terrible on this motorbike. Oh, sweet Jesus. Pavement. That was terrifying.
It was, did you catch me having to catch it? It was scary, but, whoa. But that was an education in mud. that was an education you can't get without just fucking doing it.
You aren't on a mutter.
I'm not on a mutter.
Mud is not a mutter. Just hiding from the rain. What happened here?
Executed very well, not hurting myself and getting back on the bike.
We're back down to the main road. Now it's kind of raining. Not dramatically, but it's raining. It's not just mist anymore, it's raining. So I don't know what we're gonna do, but we're not gonna drive around the forest in the mud and the rain and everything on the wrong tools. So maybe we should see if we can find the other end of that road on the other end of that road, like where we think it connects, and see if you can see it, just to see if you can know. You know what I mean? All we want to know is does it connect? Yeah. You're not into it? You feel like we failed?
That road done scared me enough that I don't need to know where that road goes. I feel like all of there's like energy in the edges of your nerves, and I have no more energy there. All the nerves are just like, ah. We don't like that road. Well, while we're just sitting here, might as well update you on how the postcards have gone. We decided that we weren't going to go to any other post offices unless they looked big. The bigger the better, because more than likely they know what international mail is. So we went to a big one. I walked in, I told her in Japanese that I wanted it to go by air, and she was like, okay. And she just checked that they all had stamps, and she just took it. And I was like, I really thought it was going to take much longer than that. Like, I'd already built up all this, okay, get ready for it, onslaught of problem. But everything worked out, and the postcards are on their way.
I think we're out of the rain. You might not be out of the rain. Now you might be out of the rain. I think we're good though. The weather report showed like where the thing was, the squall, and then where we are, and I think we're fine now. I think if we just stay south of that area for the rest of the day, we'll be in good shape. So we stopped at a convenience store, but Katie just like buzzed by. This way? Did you miss it?
I didn't miss it. I just saw a blank road and I was like, oh, he went full steam ahead. And I was like, full steam ahead! Goodbye, Lawson!
Sorting trash in Japan can be complicated. And this is like cans and bottles. This is pet bottles. This is, I don't know that kanji difference. I guess paper and then styrofoam cups or something. I don't know. There's no text. What do those mean? I don't know those kanjis. After a quick stop and snack at the Lawson, I just got a tortilla. It wasn't like exciting to show. We are just going to kind of gun it about 40 minutes down the coastline to get to the tip. And the reason one being, we're a little worried that the rain will catch up with us if we don't just keep moving. And two, there's something cool down there that we want to see. Since we left the Lawson, this has been a non-stop fishing village, and it's been going for a while, like kilometers and kilometers. Lots of people are living along here, but it seems like the industry is kombu, which is like seaweed or kelp. I don't really know which one. It's like a long, slimy, big thing that comes out of the ocean. But almost every shop that we're going past says kombu, 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 and I've seen people walking across the street with big bundles of kombu. So that must be what's keeping all of this alive. One thing I'll never stop being impressed with is how good Japan's road infrastructure is, even out in the middle of nowhere. We've passed maybe 2 or 3 cars in the last 20 or 30 minutes that we've been driving. There's nobody out here, but look at the tunnels that they've installed. It's absolutely phenomenal. Can you imagine how expensive this must have been to put in? It's tunnel after tunnel after tunnel after beautiful view after tunnel after tunnel. We're getting kind of down towards the tip, and I think Katie needs my coat, actually, is what's about to happen. You cold, girl?
Yes. Tunnels are a marvel, but oh my god, it was so cold in there. Whew.
We're approaching the tip down here on the southeastern part of this area of Hokkaido, and immediately as we came into this little town, you could start to smell sulfur. So that gives you a clue as to what might be down here. And the answer is, I think, another gigantic volcano called Esan. And it sits up against the ocean, and we're kind of hoping that the cloudiness isn't going to obscure some cool views that might be possible. But it is one of the more famous mountains and volcanoes in Japan. I've heard about it from multiple different places. I've seen it on TV and stuff before having even come up to this area. So it should be cool to check it out. Where the fuck would the deer be going? Into the ocean where they got like saltwater deers? We made our way down to the southest, eastest area of this region of Hokkaido is how I'm going to define this. It's like a little peninsula that spits out. It's got a volcano here that we're kind of like in the foothills of. And it goes out into the ocean. And I'm not sure what there is to see from this perspective, but I just like coming to like the farthest most-ish point that I can get to, and that's where we're at the moment. You can't actually drive all the way around because of the way that the volcano looks like it spills into the sea, which is pretty cool. And even though Japan is super good about putting really incredible tunnels through things, they haven't managed to burrow one through the remainder of the circumference around the outside of this volcano. When we were pulling in...
Oh yeah, I saw a man's balls. There was just a man, and he had no pants on in the parking lot, and then he had like his underwear and he put them over top of his dong, but then when he thought that I wasn't looking, he like completely bent over, balls all dangling, pulled the underwear up and like, walk around to the other side of the car, dude. That's all you gotta do. I don't know. Something caught my eye out in the water. This little pool that you can see right there. And I just thought to myself, why would they put a pool inside of the biggest pool? And it's because that is a hot spring right there. Right there, hot water comes out. And I'd imagine that the hot water comes out all the time. But you're allowed to go in there, but only during specific times. So we started asking ourselves, why can you only go in there during specific times? And it's because the tides are coming in and out. And at this point, it's 2:10. You're only allowed to get in this onsen until 2 p.m. today. Assume after that, the waves and the tide come in and it gets too dangerous to sit there and relax. An interesting thing is they're encouraging you, please get in this thing during the normal bathing hours. You can go into this little room and you can change your clothes, put your clothes in there, put your bathing suit on. I'd imagine that some people, Mr. Ballsman just went in there straight up, balls out. And this is really cool. This is no joke, this is amazing. The water is extremely good feeling. It's just that level of hot that's a little too hot, but you know you'll get used to it. But what's not getting used to it is the dead fish that are in there. The fish can't take this. There are a couple of dead fish down in the bottom, but who cares? Another thing that I think would make this so that you wouldn't want to be in, once the tide comes up, it will change the temperature of the water. So therefore it won't be this pool that is just collecting and staying warm. It's going to get the ocean's temperature mixed in and it's going to go down. So at least we're getting a chance to feel it as it's supposed to be.
You are ready with some safety.
I'm not going down.
Because of the puddle of water?
The gigantic puddle of water.
Come on, you can jump it.
Nah, dude. This is like a well-oiled baking sheet. I can tell you that right now. I'm so disappointed. But you know it was fun? Hold on. This was fun. You can just do this all day long.
This thing is big.
Yeah.
Like it's adult sized.
It bounces really good. Like there's obviously trampolines. You don't need one.
This is great. I actually think it's made for adults. Because I actually kind of fit in here without squishing myself. Where can I go now?
You can come down into this little bucket. And you gotta go out the triangle.
I don't think I'm gonna fit there.
Yeah.
I'm getting wet.
You look so stupid in that helmet.
It was good.
You had the wind visor down. Was Was it gonna get too windy out there?
My eyes are okay, you know?
Got another moment where Eric is away and an update on the stomach. I am doing fine. Haven't had any like weird grumbles, no negative feelings, all is good. Eric talked about his stomach feeling weird, so he might be right that he's gonna get sick because I ate something strange. There's a lot of volcanoes over here, and we've come to a Michi-no-eki to get some ice cream, but as we got off the bikes, we noticed that you can see the steam coming out of this volcano that we're kind of driving around today. We were just on the other side of it, and now we've come over here, and I'm gonna show you on a map so you can understand all that better. I love these little cartoony maps. They don't really tell you how far things are, but it doesn't really matter. Today we started right up here. We were probably on this edge, this side of the lake up here. We took 43 all the way out to here. This is where the geyser was. We saw the explosions and I ate frozen hotate. And then we came down here. In this area, in the remains, which we almost became, is where we played on the bikes in the woods. So it's a good thing we got out of there because we might not have lived, because a lot of people seem to have not lived there. Came back out to the road. We headed all the way down here, got caught in the rain, but got out of it. And then we came all the way down to this little road, and that's what took us to the onsen that we were just at. And from there, we've come up here, around the volcano, and we're sitting at this Michi-no-eki, about to get some ice cream. I heard they use Hokkaido cream, and that's what you need.
You gotta eat some of this before it drips, man.
Yeah, he said masuge. Whoa, that's rich. Did you bring your cowpills?
No. Do you have cowpills?
Oh, I do.
Yay. I mentioned earlier that there's kombu everywhere. Kombu, kelp or seaweed? How would you translate that personally? I don't really know. Seaweed? It's kombu crazy. And a lot of the ice creams here are actually kombu infused, but all we really wanted was like stuff out of a Hokkaido cow, which is famous. Like Hokkaido milk soft cream is like a thing for sure. And
this one said it came from a particular farm nearby.
Yeah, like a local farm. It's rich. It's a little icier than I'd want. I want it to be smoother. I don't think that's the best ice cream I've ever had.
It's not the best ice cream I've ever had, but it's tasty.
I mean, it's ice cream. It's got like a floor that isn't like, you can only get like down to a 5 on, you know, you can't get, you can't be like, oh, this is like a 1-star ice cream.
I'm gonna search the ice cream world to find the nasty one.
Heading out of the Michi-no-eki, and we are going towards the volcano yet again, and we're hoping that we're going to get a decent view of the volcano from a observation point. However, the weather isn't really good for observating at the moment with all the clouds. I think this is going to end up taking us up the mountain a little bit, and then I'm hoping we will get to see down into it.
Are we making electricity out of that?
I can't figure out where the observation point is. Like for the thing, we passed it, but I didn't see anything at all on the side of the road, so we need to do some Google Map research.
But this has been cool. The whole time we were coming up here, I was like, I don't feel like I should be allowed up here. And couple notes, number one is just went over 300 kilometers for this trip. And also 14 grade steepness. Ooh, slow-mo. Slow-mo is taking a break. He is slow-botting. No doubt he's slow-botting.
You almost probably had to get off and walk.
Yeah.
Let him get to the top on his own. We consulted a map, and it seems like we need to keep going. And there will be a road, and then a road, and then a road, and then an observation point. that hopefully is the one we're looking for. As we're going up over this mountain, kind of going through a cloud, so getting a little bit of precipitation, but not horrible amounts of rain, just a little bit of wetness. Wouldn't want to be doing this in any colder weather though, because that could get a little grim. Got a situation here with some deer. Hello.
What? A deer?
Yeah, you see him?
Oh, dang! Wow, that's fresh.
What's over here?
The view from the parking lot is even better. I went over there and I was like looking at a map because you can't drive to the observation point, and I was like looking at the map and I turned around and that smacked me in the face. I did not expect that at all. Like I said, the view from the parking lot is sick. It just feels like it explodes right in front of you, which I really hope it doesn't. But there's also some little walkway that we can go up that's some sort of observatory. I don't know if it gets you into the beast, like the belly of the beast, but we'll go walk over there.
I see steps going up it.
What? I feel like we are not supposed to be here.
There's nobody else here. It's creepy.
No hands. This is big, and we're in a bit of a crunch now because we always find interesting things at the last moment when we have a rental. I won't get into the rental stress, but I will tell you this is totally worth the non-slow bot speed we're doing it at. The terrain is crazy. It feels bad, like you shouldn't be doing this. But there's little walkways everywhere and stairs that are broken all over the place. It doesn't seem like any of it is kept up, and that the mountain might be swallowing the things that they put down so people will stop coming. I can like hear like a folklore story about how it swallows up a human every so often. We should probably get out of here.
It needs a Hakuchun.
Yeah.
Once a year it's gonna swallow a white girl. I saw deer down in the parking lot, and they were, doing deer stuff where you can expect a deer to do deer stuff, where there's things for them to munch on and things. But there's also evidence of deer up on the actual volcano. And it makes me wonder, why did the deer come up here? Because there's nothing for them to munch, and it doesn't exactly smell amazing, and there's no water. So what's driving the deer to come up here? But then I wondered, what's driving me to come up here? Maybe they just think it's badass. So the situation with the rental is that it has to be back by tomorrow at 10:15 in the morning. However, Katie has a bus to get to her ferry before then. And the other option is that the bike has to be returned before they close tonight, which is 7 p.m. We are at the moment 46 minutes away. We just left the mountain and it is 5:20. So I think we're actually pretty good on time. I think we're going to get there around 6:30 because we have to stop and fill her gas tank up, and I don't know, we might get distracted. It tends to be a thing we do. But usually when we rent, we are just at the last possible second of returning. I think today we are going to be doing it with a little more comfort, thankfully. The drive along this coastline is no joke. There's a lot of really beautiful views. Maybe not this specific view, but trust me, they've been really good ones. And the signs that I saw when I was coming into Hakodate a week or so ago that said lightning advisory, it apparently is just a thing that's always on because they still have the lightning advisory. So, I mean, I don't know really like what I would do personally anyways. Like, it's not like I can do anything about it if I get hit by lightning. can't avoid it. I guess I could just be not outside. But if the lightning advisory is literally always on, then you just don't get to go outside? Is that how this works? I don't understand. All right, so we're about to get rid of slow-mo. How do you feel about slow-mo in your adventure?
Fantastic. I'm a little worried about this Monton situation here. Man, I wish this had an attendant and it wasn't me. It feels like it's at the brink all the time.
Yeah, the tank is really shallow.
So you want to know how I feel about my experience while not pumping gas. Okay. It was delightful. I had some scary times. I had some great times. I had some moments where I was just like, I'm just going to think my thoughts right now. I don't have moments like that. I always feel busy. But I just sat there and thought my thoughts. And you don't get to know. Did a clown just get in an accident?
Somehow their bike made that noise.
Weird. It has been great. I had a very fun time. I think the price for the bike, which was somewhere around like $120 for 3 days, was pretty good, including insurance. So I knew I could kind of mess it up if I needed to. Not really. I don't know. I could see myself doing this more often, but this has shown me that I will probably never get a bike of my own.
Why?
I can do this sporadically for cheaper than I can do that indefinitely. And I think this is my level of interest. This is my level of interest. I might want a bike that has more power at some point in time, but I don't want to own my own bike. I'm trying to get a boat in the future, not a bike. You be the bike man, I'll be the boat man, okay? All right. Get in there, you fat bastard. It's fucking safe. We've found ourselves in Hakodate many times now, and pretty much I feel like each visit we've ended up at Daimon Yokucho, which is what's behind us. It's kind of like an open air, tiny bar, many little alleyways. You just go in, you pop into whatever bar you want to go to. It might have yakitori, it might have other thing other than yakitori that I can't think of.
Hormone.
Yeah. And I thought we wouldn't end up here because ramen is not one of those types of foods, but apparently there's a small little ramen joint right inside the heart of it's on the outskirts in a way.
It's the first store you see.
Yeah. We got Shio ramen because it is
Hakodate.
Hakodate.
That's their thing.
Their big thing. And Eric's gone to. We got a recommendation from a taxi driver a while back, and I have to know. Eric's been to the taxi driver recommended place twice. Loves it, talks about it, tells me I love it. Did you say love?
Yeah, it's good.
How did this stack up to that?
I think the other one's better.
What?
This was very good though. Shio ramen is my favorite. I love it. I think it's so good because it's like, I ate top ramen a lot when I was a kid, right? Like salty chicken flavored top ramen, whatever, those little, 19 cent a packet things that they were in the 80s. And this is so nostalgic to me, but it's really good. It's like the top ramen, but cranked to like 1,000. And I just really love the nostalgia hit. I love how simple it is. They never like garnish it with a ton of extra stuff. It's just what it is and it stands on its own. And I just think it's my favorite ramen, and this is the town to get it. And this one was good, but I do think I like the other one better.
I hear you. This one was fine, but then again, like, I'm not big on Shio. So I'm just like, all right, yeah, that was Shio. I think I can measure other ones. I need to have them a little closer to each other. It's been like a year since
we could go get Bang Bang.
I did hanbun.
We could go get another bowl of soup.
I only had half noodles. Like, that's what you could do if you want to do 2 ramens in a row. You just half those noodles and you're on to the next. Yeah.
I don't think I can hang. That would be a problem, man.
You have to do half noodles.
All right, we need to go back to a hotel so we can go to sleep and clean ourselves because we filthy. And then you got to get up early in the morning, and that means I got to get up early in the morning so that you can go back to Tokyo, and then I can do question mark. the rain is currently a thing, and we're back down to like the main road. My hand is off in the way. I'll turn it upside down, flip it in post.
They're full of shit. I've got tons of pockets. Refuse to use them. Is it just me, or is this mountain hanging crack?
Goes.
Why would you have needed to adjust that?
I don't know.
Oh, really? I see this sheepish look. We're doing an audio track, and you just changed. Is it just up my nose?
No, you're good.
Is there a bat in the hanger?
Yeah.
I bet there is. I was feeling one earlier. I was breathing in, and it made a weird noise. Okay. Anywho. Let's counter for one on the anywho's. In this episode, no, that's too loud. In this episode, we see
In this episode.
In this episode.
Yeah, but do it without me talking.
In this episode, we see a man's balls, keep a secret, and prepare for the worst.